medawase na mabo mabaso.
Okay.
Nsem-Pii TV mosomo ye mafamu de boa media space no ene nsemo a ebinum ante eche na mo de call YouTube.
Nsem-Pii TV nie.
All right, abusuafo ma menchiao emo akwa bebiem emfamra ekasafoni so Nsem-Pii TV. Be the first to know. Lawyer Paul Adom Ochere enenumre watena se de Nsem-Pii to edwa osisi se ansete record administrator o man Ghana mu ha. Obi abetimi de na adwene aka de ope na wafa no ho de ni nyina ne say. A historian bi a friend said Dr. Anokye. Dr. Anokye mo amutadi GBC and I said GTV echi no. Wata ko mu studio akoye program pa na no na her ladyship the Chief Justice, suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Esieba tukono ne ho nsensem ya enum na papa yekotena TV stations no GTV na ochemu say Esieba Gertrude tukono ne wofa a friend say Kwesi Saki ne wofa friend say Kwesi Saki o betray Kwame Nkrumah abra na oye Minister of State o betray Kwame Nkrumah ema CIA sika dollars edigu no ho enunti na o betray Kwame Nkrumah ena lawyer Paul Adom Ochere him say papa we ensem a oka no force rodo rather sama inimu bia enti obe rectify no na papa no ba say ensem a Paul Adom Ochere eka ni nyina no enso enye no kwe eno na nanwure Paul Adom Ochere ababonte with facts, with history, with woman who betray Kwame Nkrumah, even to the extent NDC's Dr. Omane Boama now ye MPP ni nanso wo free MPP ni ekopie mu ewo NDC Sam George ya kase ya no ye Tescon president no servo ewo Aliu Mahama ni office o free NPP mu ekodan NDC enti ade na Dr. Anokye epeso ka na odi gu abusua no animase enti se sade a on pacho se Kwesi Saki etimi sika efri CIA ho edi betray Nkrumah abusua boy akode.
The issue about treachery or betrayal is clear. You can say that unless Kwesi Saki betrayed Nkrumah, I can say that unless Kwesi Saki had the principal change of mind, another person can say that Alex Kwesi Saki was treacherous. But you cannot say that he took money to betray Nkrumah. That's where the problem is. And that's why I will urge you, Doc, to apologize to the family of Kwesi Saki. And I will encourage Ghana Television to encourage him to do that. He should apologize to the former foreign minister's family for alleging that the guy took bribe, dollars, millions of dollars to overthrow Nkrumah, to betray Nkrumah, when that's not the fact. Who didn't betray Nkrumah? Mention. Bedema betrayed Nkrumah. Bedema was the one who brought Nkrumah out of jail. He betrayed him. All of Nkrumah's ministers had betrayed him. Now let's get to modern day, what you will call betrayal. And you will find that is very common in politics. Let's start with Osagyefo himself. Osagyefo was with the UGCC. He left the UGCC and went to form his own party. Did he betray David Dankwa? Was he treacherous? I don't know. People can decide. Let's move on. Who is this? Wayo Seni, Professor Wayo Seni. Those of you remember a little bit. Professor Wayo Seni, I interviewed him many times. In 1998, he was a member of parliament of the New Patriotic Party, one of the closest friends of Kufuor. In fact, when Kufuor won the election in Sunyani to become the MPP's flag bearer for the 2000 election, many of Kufuor's friends, indeed, Kwame Amakotofo, told me that Professor Wayo Seni will be Kufuor's running mate because he and Kufuor had such an excellent relationship for many, many years. What happened? Wayo Seni left the MPP and joined the NDC. And what do you call that? Treachery? I don't know. What do you call that? Betrayal? Anybody can do that because it is about conscience. And people can think that I am tired with my people. I want to leave the party. Alan Chermatin, last election, he left MPP and formed his own party. So as for that, it happens. So there's no problem with Alex Kwesi Saki deciding at the time of the coup that I don't want to be with Osagyefo anymore. I'm gone. Here is Afrogbede, as they used to call him. Lord Bedema. He is the one who wrote the CPP's victory in 1951. It was Bedema's victory. It wasn't Nkrumah's victory because Nkrumah was in jail. Bedema wrote that victory. What happened to Bedema? He ran away as Minister for Finance. He disagreed with Nkrumah and ran away to Lomé, from where it is believed that he was part of those who organized the coup. But I don't have any records for that, so I won't say it. But that's what some people believe. Here is Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, who formed the NDC from the beginning. The NDC is part of her. The NDC is her, and she is the NDC. Today, as a matter of principle, she left the NDC and formed her own party. Is that treachery? Who else? This is Dr. Omane Boamah. Go on social media. Kwesi Pratt is extolling the virtues of Omane Boamah for him having left the NPP. When we were students, Omane Boamah was TESCON. Me, I wasn't TESCON. I was just doing my work at Commonwealth, enjoying myself. He was more NPP than anybody else. At Legon, I was in Legon at the same time with him. He was very, very NPP. On a matter of principle, he decided to leave to join the NDC. What's the problem with that? But if I come and sit here and say, Omane Boamah took money from Ato Ahoy to join the NDC, that's dangerous. And I must have evidence for that. And that's character assassination of the minister. But if he just left on principle, Sam George, he was working for Aliyu Mahama, Alhaji Aliyu Mahama, the vice president. Sam George was in a more privileged position than I was during the Kufuor era because he was working for Aliyu Mahama. He deserved it. At some point, he made a decision. I don't want to be with MPP anymore. I want to be with NDC. Is that treachery? It's not treachery. But if I come and sit here and say that Sam George took money from John Dramani Mahama to join the NDC, that's wrong. And Anokye should not be saying these things about people. This is Dr. Josiah Aye. He was my own lecturer. He taught me property law. He was the general secretary of the National Democratic Congress. He left and joined Mrs. Rawlings to form their own party on the point of principle. So people deciding to leave one political system to another is normal. It happens all the time throughout the world's history. So if Alex Kwesi-Nsaky did that, he's not the first person to do that. And in any case, Kwame Nkrumah said it in the book that Alex Kwesi-Nsaky did it. Bring back Kwesi-Nsaky. But when you come and sit on Ghana television and say that Kwesi-Nsaky took money, that's the problem. So tell Dr. Anokye that our problem is not about treachery. Treachery can happen everywhere, anytime, any day. I can be standing here tomorrow on account of principle. I can say that principle, I went to some place, I saw MP people fighting, or I saw MP people doing juju. I don't like juju, so I've gone to join Julius Debra. It happens. But if you come and tell me that I have taken money from Julius Debra to join the NDC, that's character assassination if you don't have evidence for it. So please tell Dr. Anokye, let it sink in that the point we are making is not a conversation about betrayal. It's a conversation about a spurious allegation that he made, an unfounded allegation that he made, that Alex Kwesi-Nsaky took money. We should not build our history like that. We should not build our history with distortions and lies. We shouldn't do that for political gain. It is terrible and it's dangerous, and it ought to be condemned by everyone. Everyone ought to condemn that. Alex Kwesi-Nsaky's family is sitting down. They are thinking about themselves. His grandchildren are all over the place. Some of them are abroad. They are working somewhere. Then you come and sit on TV and say, your grandfather took money, millions of dollars, to go and join the coup. When you have no evidence, absolutely no shred of evidence. Yekokan will say, Paul Adom Ochere doesn't know that Alex Kwesi-Nsaky was treacherous. Nkrumah himself said so in the book. Nkrumah said so. And I'll come to another chapter about the Kotoka and the Afrifa thing. Play back Anokye's first video where he was talking about the money, so that those who have just joined will understand. Anokye came to make a spurious allegation here that Kwesi-Nsaky took money. When it comes to rebut, he doesn't talk about it. He's talking about treachery. It's not treachery we are talking about. It's not. If it's betrayal, I've showed you the list. Everybody can be inside the betrayal. But that's not the point. People join policies on principle. That principle can change. You didn't show me Nyaho Tamaklo's picture. Nyaho Tamaklo, he's MPP founding member. Since Akufo-Addo was elected as the party's leader, Nyaho Tamaklo says that he doesn't like the way Akufo-Addo is running the MPP. So Nyaho Tamaklo is today an NDC man. He's in the die-in-the-wool John Mahama camp. And MPP are fighting with him. Is it treachery? You can call it whatever, but you cannot come and say that Nyaho Tamaklo has taken money from John Mahama to join. That is totally bad, horrible, wrong, a horrendous thing to say about any politician if you don't have evidence to do so. And that's the point we are making about Dr. Anokye. Dr. Anokye is great, yes, but he should apologize to Kwesi-Nsaky's family. He should apologize for coming to make a spurious allegation that he has no basis. And I keep saying, somebody in the studio was laughing. He was just happy laughing. Play Anokye's video again, the first one.
I didn't even know that her direct uncle, father's elder brother, was this man who betrayed Kwame Nkrumah, Dr. Alex Kwesi-Nsaky, who took money from the CIA and he was the most trusted confidant of Nkrumah, and told Kwame Nkrumah that Nkrumah should travel, there would be no coup, because CIA had promised him to make him the next president of Ghana. That man's niece is this man. Until all this matter, I wouldn't have known. I didn't even know that her direct uncle, father's elder brother, was this man who betrayed Kwame Nkrumah, Dr. Alex Kwesi, who took money from the CIA, and he was the most trusted confidant of Nkrumah, and told Kwame Nkrumah that Nkrumah should travel, there would be no coup, because CIA had promised him to make him the next president of Ghana. That man's niece is this man. Until all this matter, I wouldn't have known. I didn't even know that her direct uncle, father's elder brother, was this man who betrayed Kwame Nkrumah, Dr. Alex Kwesi, who took money from the CIA, and he was the most trusted confidant of Nkrumah, and told Kwame Nkrumah that Nkrumah.
Happy that viewers are understanding what I'm saying. How can you come on television and say somebody took money when you have no evidence and you say you're a historian? Historians don't talk like that. As soon as you say something, you evidence it. You don't come and pile a set of books in the studio that Paul Adom Ochere should go and read. Read what? Forget about what you read and what you haven't read. I have also read all of Nkrumah's books. I've been reading them for 20 years now, since political science. But that's not the point. The point is that you can't come on television, call yourself a historian, accuse somebody of bribery without a shred of evidence. You should be careful about that. Dr. Anokye, good evening to you. Please, let's get together. He says he's happy to come on Good Evening Ghana. If you have his number, send it to me. I'll host him on some of our historical documents. I want to begin a new podcast on the political history of Ghana. Myself and former Minister Koko Furiesiama are discussing it. We'll start from the colonial era. What happened in politics? Why did Buzia do this? Where did Mumuni Baumia come from? In the 70s, who did what? The UNC. We're going to do a political podcast so that we can all share the history of Ghana in some great detail. Okay, now let's get to the northern, northwestern. Overwhelmed with disappointment about Dr. Anokye's presentation on Ghana television. So I came here and said that Dr. Anokye should not have said the things he said about Alex Kwesi. I took time to read portions of the Dark Days in Ghana. Since then, somebody has sent me the soft copy of the Dark Days in Ghana. So we'll put it on our Facebook page tomorrow. So you can all print it. It's free. It's declassified, if you like. It's free. So it's not declassified. I'm just using that word. But it's free for you to print the Dark Days in Ghana. Oscar Provençal sent me that. I have to give him credit. He sent to me and said, this is the book that you're talking about. Everybody can read it. So I came here to read Nkrumah's account of Alex Kwesi. When Nkrumah talked about Alex Kwesi betraying him, he did, and I read it. Now, the concern with Mr. Anokye's expressions on Ghana television was the allegation that Alex Kwesi took money to betray Nkrumah. That's really what we talked about. We didn't say that Alex Kwesi did not betray Nkrumah. In any case, betray is your word. Treachery is another person's word. Another person will say that he left on principle, that he left the CPP government on principle, because the way the CPP government was set up at the beginning, for which reason he joined, may have changed. And I'm going to show you tonight many people in NDC and NPP who have left NDC to join NPP, NPP to join NDC on the same principle. So that betrayal is nothing new. Now, Mr. Anokye then comes back, Dr. Anokye then comes back to do a rebuttal. And he cleverly, disingenuously avoids the fact that he accused Kwesi of taking money. That was the only problem I had with him. Because in my own reading of Nkrumah's book, I outlined the fact that Osajefo felt that Alex Kwesi had betrayed him. But Osajefo didn't say that Kwesi had taken money to do that. Anokye said something also that was blatantly wrong. He said it was Afrifa who killed General Abawa. It is not true. Nkrumah's account said that it was Kotoka who killed General Abawa. That's very straightforward. What is he trying to achieve by changing the history of Ghana? We're going to deal with that right now. First, let's get to Anokye's original video that we responded to. Let's see it.
I didn't even know that her direct uncle, father's elder brother, was this man who betrayed Kwame Nkrumah, Dr. Alex Kwesi-Nsaki, who took money from the CIA, and he was the most trusted confidant of Nkrumah, and told Kwame Nkrumah that Nkrumah should travel, there would be no coup, because CIA had promised him to make him the next president of Ghana. That man's niece is this man. Until all this matter, I wouldn't have known. I didn't even know that her direct uncle, father's elder brother, was this man who betrayed Kwame Nkrumah, Dr. Alex Kwesi-Nsaki, who took money from the CIA, and he was the most trusted confidant of Nkrumah, and told Kwame Nkrumah that Nkrumah should travel, there would be no coup, because CIA had promised him to make him the next president of Ghana. That man's niece is this man. Until all this matter, I wouldn't.
So this is the dishonesty of Dr. Anokye. You come and sit on television without a shred of evidence and say that Alex Kwesi-Nsaki took money. And then when we take you on, you come back with a rebuttal and you refuse to mention that he took money. Our conversation, Dr. Anokye, is not about treachery. No. You can say he was a traitor. You can say he betrayed. All that is fine. The point we are making that you cannot sit on Ghana television and accuse somebody for taking money, that the motivation for shifting away from Nkrumah's government was money. That's deviant behavior. That's disingenuous behavior that you are accusing Alex Kwesi-Nsaki and his family of. Kwesi-Nsaki has died. You are beginning to connect Alex Kwesi-Nsaki with Chief Justice Tokonu and say that your relatives, your forebears used to take money. So Anokye must come and apologize to Kwesi-Nsaki's family for the treachery that he showed on television, alleging that the man took money. When he came back with his rebuttal, for 11 minutes of the video that was sent to me, he didn't talk about money. He kept talking about evidence of treachery. That's not the point we are making. Indeed, when we read Nkrumah's book, Nkrumah did say himself that Alex Kwesi-Nsaki betrayed him. So that's not a problem at all. The problem we have is that you, Anokye, Dr. Anokye, in due reference to you, Dr. Anokye, you said that Alex Kwesi-Nsaki had taken money. Where is the evidence that Alex Kwesi-Nsaki took money? You cannot come on television and allege things against people in that manner. That's so wrong. And you are a senior person. You are a historian. You say that you teach MBA. You say that you've done this and done that. So young people like us should look up to you. If we should look up to you, we shouldn't learn that character of this character assassination that you do. I don't know whether it's for politics. I don't know what it is for. But the fact is that you don't have any evidence, no shred of evidence that Alex Kwesi-Nsaki took money. When we said that, he came back with this rebuttal. Have a look.
Last week, I was here before the station of the nation, and in one of the usual conversations, I made reference to the fact that Dr. Alex Kwesi-Nsaki was a traitor who took money to betray his master, the then president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah. Now, about 2-3 days after that, I saw from various angles a gentleman by name Paul Adom Ochere, who in a monologue, in my case, there was a host and then 2 other members of the panel. Right. And one of them was a leading member of the NPP, Kofi Kapito, who could have challenged me. In his case, it was a monologue. So nobody was there to add to or take from. Host and guest played at the same time, per Adom Ochere, in which he made lots of misstatements, confused himself, except that I would need to explain to the general public, because not only did he run me down, he also discredited the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation for bringing a person like me to their studios to come and perpetrate falsehood to this whole nation. It's very unfortunate. Now, I will give him the respect he deserves, and especially acknowledge him for the fact that before running me down, he said he liked the way I always articulated my issues too, and the fact that I belong to a certain caliber. That one I'll have to thank him. Right. After all, he's my junior many years at Commonwealth Hall. I'm a Vandal. Okay. Now let's come to academic work. Now, if you read some of the declassified CIA documents one published by the Chicago, Illinois Tribune, dated 4th March 1966, declassified. So it means at the time of that's a copy of it there. Where, if I'm to paraphrase, because everybody will find it on the net, where it is stated that Sir Anokye Saki, who was the right-hand man of Kwame Nkrumah, was made, in fact, he was Nkrumah's foreign affairs minister, was made to play a leading role in the coup per the CIA, because coming from the CIA itself. And at that time, Nkrumah himself did not have access to this, because it took about 30 years after Nkrumah's overthrow before the CIA document could be